welcome everyone to the USC Rossier School of Education's celebration of the class of 2021. We are excited to have with us today many of our brand new graduates, proud families, accomplished alumni, and special guests, including the Rossier Board of Counselors. They join our Dean, Pedro Noguera, and his fellow leaders, our distinguished faculty, and Rossier staff, who are all here to honor our students and celebrate the day. The following Rossier degree programs represent our graduating class: Doctor of Philosophy in Urban Education Policy, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Doctor of Global Executive Education, Doctor of Education in Organizational Change and Leadership, Master of Arts in Urban Education, Master of Arts in Teaching, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, Master of Arts in Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, World Masters in Language Teaching, Master of Education in Educational Counseling, Master of Education in Enrollment Management and Policy, Master of Education in Learning, Design, and Technology, Master of Education in Post-Secondary Administration and Student Affairs, Master of Education in School Counseling, and Master of Science in Marriage and Family Therapy. Now, please welcome for his very first commencement as the Emory Stoops and Joyce King Stoops Dean of the USC Rossier School of Education, Dr. Pedro Noguera. A distinguished professor of education, an elected member of the National Academy of Education and the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, Dean Noguera joined us in July 2020 from UCLA's Graduate School of Education and Information Studies. He's been a professor at New York University, Harvard, and UC Berkeley. He has served on the boards of the Economic Policy Institute and the National Equity Project, among others, and appears as a regular commentator on educational issues in the national media. His latest book, co-authored with conservative education writer Rick Hess, is a search for common ground, conversations about the toughest questions in K-12 education. A sociologist, Dr. Noguera's research focuses on the ways schools are influenced by social and economic conditions, as well as by demographic trends in local, regional, and global contexts. He advises officials in many states on education policy and was honored by NYU's McSilver Institute for Poverty Policy and Research for his research and advocacy efforts aimed at fighting poverty. Last, Pedro is the father of 5 children. The youngest, a 3rd grader, who, like so many of our graduates and faculty here today, had to adjust this last year to online teaching and learning. Welcome, Dean Noguera.
Greetings, families, friends, members of our Board of Counselors, and graduates of 2021 from the Rossier School of Education. I want to thank all of you for coming, and I regret those who couldn't come because of the COVID restrictions. Today we get to celebrate our graduates who have spent the past year or more studying hard, preparing themselves for the work that lies ahead in our field. Each of them has sacrificed to get this far, and we commend them for their sacrifice, for their commitment and their dedication to pursue their education, particularly during these trying times. And certainly they have been trying times. The COVID pandemic has taken a toll on so many of us and taken a toll in lives. And we know that it's also exposed so many vast inequities in our society and in the world today. That's one of the reasons why equity is the central goal of our education that we provide at Rossier. We know that education is the best way to create a more equitable future. And we know that when we invest in educating future teachers, researchers, scholars, administrators, counselors, that we are also preparing those who will be able to solve problems that previous generations struggled with. As I think about this past year and the many challenges that we face, I think about why it is so important that we send out another generation to go out into the field of education. Certainly you didn't choose this field for the money. Had you chosen a career that would have been more lucrative, you would have gone to business or law, medicine, not education. Education is a field you choose to make a difference. And we know that in choosing that field, you've chosen to do things that will allow you to use your intellect to inspire others. These are challenging times for our world, our society, and for the field of education in particular. It is for that reason that we chose Professor Gail Sinatra to be our keynote speaker this year, because her work on science and sustainability epitomizes the importance of using evidence to support our arguments, our beliefs, and understand how to distinguish between real news, fake news, facts, and fiction. Let me conclude by saying this. Education continues to be our best resource for preparing for the future. We do more than simply prepare young people for jobs. We prepare them to solve problems of previous generations, to think critically, to think creatively, to be problem solvers, to think outside the box, so that problems that right now seem formidable and out of our reach can be better challenged, better addressed, better understood, so that each of us have a chance to live a better life. I want to thank you all for the chance that you've given us at Rossier to work with you, and I'm going to wish you all the best in the next phase of life. Fight on.
Thank you, Dean Noguera. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you with us at USC Rossier. And now, our keynote speaker. Dr. Gail Sinatra is a professor of psychology and the Stephen H. Crocker Professor of Education at Rossier. Her areas of expertise include climate science education, evolution education, learning theory, knowledge construction, conceptual change learning, literacy acquisition, assessment, and the public understanding of science. Dr. Sinatra's research focuses on understanding the cognitive and motivational processes that lead to successful learning in science, specifically the role of motivation and emotion in teaching and learning about the controversial topics such as biological evolution and climate change. Her book, co-authored with Barbara Hoffer and due out this summer, is Science Denial: Why It Happens and What to Do About It. The book offers psychological explanations for why people deny science, provides solutions for individuals, educators, science communicators, and policymakers, and allows us to examine our own thinking and that of others to become more vigilant about this issue. Welcome, Professor Sinatra.
My neighbor told me she's not going to get the COVID-19 vaccine because she eats organic. Some people believe that climate change is an existential threat to humanity. Others say it's a hoax. You may have read stories shared on your social media about windmills causing cancer or 5G causing the coronavirus. Perhaps when you arrived at USC, you had many ideas about education from your own experience as a student, but perhaps very little from the scientific study of how learning occurs. Or maybe you had misconceptions and worked to alter them. Now, as you enter your professional fields, you have learned how to evaluate evidence, think critically, and be open to new information. What can you do to support others to do the same? In Science Denial: Why It Happens and What to Do About It, a new book I co-authored with my friend and colleague, Barbara Hoffer, a psychologist from Middlebury College in Vermont, we explore questions like these through the lens of science denial, doubt, and resistance. Democracies depend on educated citizens to make informed decisions that will benefit not only their health and well-being, but that of their communities and their nation and the planet. These decisions must be made thoughtfully so that they won't have differential impacts on diverse groups in our society, particularly the poor and communities of color. You, the graduating class of 2021, are on the front lines of confronting fake news, misinformation, disinformation, and science denial. You are graduating at a time when your students, family members, and colleagues are bombarded daily with a barrage of mis and disinformation in social media, television, and yes, even in the print media. In Science Denial, we focus on things individuals, educators, and policymakers can do to stop the growing prevalence and danger of misinformation. What can educators do to stem the tide of scientific illiteracy? Here's 5 steps the class of 2021 can take. First, foster a scientific attitude in yourself and others. An important step each of you can take is to value science. Stay open to new evidence and foster an appreciation of science in those around you. Thinking scientifically entails adopting a scientific attitude and the willingness to change views in light of new evidence. You or those you know may struggle to develop scientific thinking. Doing so requires deliberate and thoughtfully crafted instruction designed to promote scientific thinking. The disposition to think critically and analytically must be nurtured and encouraged because our natural tendency is to make quick judgments and move on. Next, be aware that learning science involves how students think and feel about the content. Students young and old get excited, inspired, curious, anxious, confused, and frustrated when learning about science. These emotions should not be ignored, but recognized for what they are, fully integrated aspects of human learning. For example, doomsday messaging about the pandemic or climate change is more likely to induce stress than promote learning. Help students direct their feelings towards proactive steps they can take as individuals. These include lowering their carbon footprint or helping their school conserve energy, even as they are learning that the solutions are much larger than individual actions. Third, be aware that prior beliefs, attitudes, and identity are important. Imagine 2 groups of college students in a general education science course learning about genetic modifications to crops, one in California and one in Nebraska. Californians might be concerned about whether GMOs are safe to eat and want foods to be labeled, while Nebraskans might know how crops are modified to make them more drought tolerant, and they may be concerned that GMO labeling will put family farms out of business. Being aware of differences in science beliefs and attitudes is critical to discussing controversial science topics. Be savvy about your own search strategies and support digital literacy in your students. You may have seen on Facebook that chocolate causes cancer, or that COVID vaccines contain microchips designed by Bill Gates. Far too much information about science is gleaned from online sources that are unreliable and in some cases designed to deceive. Follow best practices for identifying the source of this information and teach these practices to your students. Before you share the articles that appear to have a scientific basis, become your own fact checker. Evaluate connections between sources of evidence and alternatives before you decide whether the claim is plausible. Only share information you have verified. And if it's fake, don't share it, even as a joke, because this is one way misinformation goes viral. Finally, encourage students to apply science to solve real problems. Students at all levels should address science questions that connect to their experience. Remember those experiments you did in high school chemistry? Yeah, neither do I. If you engage in science experiments that were not of interest to you, it's unlikely that they were a memorable learning experience. Actively engaging students in all age groups in asking, answering questions that they care about, questions that solve actual problems, is much more effective. All skills learned in scientific thinking and reasoning can and should be applied to relevant questions that students want to ask and answer. Jimmy Kimmel once famously quipped that Southern Californians are more afraid of gluten than smallpox. Class of 2021, you have your work cut out for you in fighting misinformation about science and promoting a more just and equitable, scientifically literate society. But with your help, that is exactly what we can do. Congratulations, class of 2021, and fight on.
Thank you, Dr. Sinatra, for honoring our graduates, families, and the Rossier community with your words today. Now it's our pleasure to hear from the first of our student speakers. Shanéa Thomas is a graduate of the EDD in Organizational Change and Leadership program. A licensed independent clinical social worker, Dr. Thomas is a lecturer, including for the USC Suzanne Dwork Peck's School of Social Work Virtual Academy Center, and a scholar practitioner with more than 15 years of social work experience in the Washington, D.C. area. Shanéa trains and strategizes with social workers, education and service providers around building safer therapeutic and educational spaces for all people, especially those working in underserved and under-resourced communities and those identifying as Black, Indigenous, people of color, those affected by HIV and AIDS, and LGBTQI+ people. Shanéa holds a BS in psychology from Virginia Tech, a master's in social work from Howard University, and a master's in education and advanced certificate in human sexuality studies from Widener University. Welcome and congratulations, Dr. Shanéa Thomas.
On August 30th, 2018, in pain, I gently rolled over in my hospital bed, opened up my computer, set my baby in my arms, and logged into class. As wild as the thought of me showing up with a newborn baby to my online class is, I was also blessed to have a partner beside me, my family behind me, and my classmates from all over the country and world rooting me on. Cooing over a child they will probably never see, but encouraging their peer and classmate on a journey that we were all taking together. To think about the impact in achieving our milestones at Rossier and how we will show up as educators is admittedly difficult. Right now, it is hard to look into the future, to plan and to coordinate what is uncertain, unstable, and frankly, sometimes unsafe. In a world post-COVID-19 and racial uprisings, we have all lost so much: friends, loved ones, jobs, homes, stability, and even our sanity. So in a time where loss is so abundant, why can't the very thing that inspires the impact in our work is just us showing up? In this moment, in a world that seems unrecognizable, we can settle in the fact that we, as we are already enough. Graduates, we can make lofty and huge goals for the future, and I admire it. You all are truly my heroes from the first day that we met. We all can become principals, CEOs, managers, advocates, and activists. Even through our uncertainty, the thing that we can bet on is being ourselves. If there is anything that this past year has taught us, it's to slow down, breathe, and that it's okay to be okay with just surviving. Not perfection, but being able to just show up and be present. The world caught on fire, and it reared its ugly head. It looked ourselves in the face and asked us, what's next? So we answered the call. We did it. We showed up and we survived. My experiences at Rossier have helped me create impact just by showing up, baby and all. But today, to you, congratulations, because your level of impact means so much just because you chose to be here. And because you did, because we did, we can now fight on. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Shanéa. Your story, especially among the challenges that so many of your fellow graduates faced this past year, gives new meaning to the words fight on. I would now like to introduce Dr. Kathy Stowe, Associate Dean for Academic Programs, who will award the 2021 Dissertations of Distinction.
Congratulations, graduates. I am so honored to be able to share this time with you today. It is my absolute privilege to present our 2021 Dissertations of Distinction to 6 of our deserving graduates. Our winners are members from both the 2020 and 2021 classes. Our PhD Dissertation of Distinction is presented to Dr. Cy Stokes for his dissertation, Into the Wildfire, Campus Racial Climate and the Trump Presidency, chaired by Dr. Sean Harper. Our first EDL Dissertation of Distinction is presented to Dr. Wilman A. Christian III for his dissertation, Working While Black, occupational experiences, hazards, and triumphs of Black staff and administrators in higher education, chaired by Dr. Sean Harper. Our last EDL dissertation of distinction is presented to Dr. Susan Simpson for her dissertation, Elementary Teachers' Perceptions of Gender Identity and Sexuality and How They Are Revealed in Their Pedagogical and Curricular Choices, 2 case studies, chaired by Dr. Julie Slayton. Our first OCL dissertation of distinction is presented to Dr. Kevin E. Cross for his dissertation, Efficacy of Non-Formal Education Programs in Educational Outcomes of Marginalized Filipino Children, an evaluation study, chaired by Dr. Emmy Min. Our second OCL dissertation of distinction is presented to Dr. Elia Ingles Lawach for her dissertation, Uncovering Promising Practices for Providing Vocational Opportunities to Formerly Incarcerated Individuals, chaired by Dr. Courtney Malloy. And our final OCL dissertation of distinction is presented to Dr. Kiran Pai for her dissertation, Bridging the Empathy Gap, a mixed method approach to evaluating teacher support in bullying prevention and intervention at an urban middle school in India, chaired by Dr. Katarina Moore. Congratulations to all of our winners. Fight on!
Thank you, Dr. Stowe. Now we'll hear from our second student speaker. Jessica Carmel Pereira is a graduate of the Masters of Education in Learning Design and Technology program. Jessica was born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii, and earned her Bachelor of Arts in English, magna cum laude, from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. She was, throughout her undergraduate years, and is today, a highly accomplished ballet dancer and teacher. After teaching elementary school for just a year, she became dance director at Sacred Hearts Academy in Honolulu, teaching grades 7 through 12. And Jessica dances professionally with Tao Dance Theater in Honolulu. She describes dance as the fuel for her commitment to lifelong learning and ultimately what led her to the field of education. Welcome and congratulations, Jessica Carmel Pereira.
Malama, to tend to the needs of others and the world. Pono, to live righteously. Laulima, to work together. And aloha, to always live with love. These, along with a few others, are Hawaiian values that you can find posted in every classroom on the island of Hawaii. Where I'm from, these values are something that children grow up striving to emulate, and it is with great pride that I work to instill them in all my students today. When I enrolled in the Rossier School of Education, I expected to graduate with a top-tier education and the lifelong relationships that USC is known for. I never expected that the values of my small hometown culture would be, in more ways than one, central to the Rossier curriculum. This past year has proved to be nothing any one of us could have anticipated. We have studied our way through a pandemic, civil uprising, a presidential election, and so much more. Unprecedented times is our new normal. Honestly, as a multicultural individual and an Asian American, the political climate of our country leaves me anxious. But if there is one thing that Rossier has done, it is remind me, time after time, that there is solace in education and in knowledge. That no matter what is happening in the world around us, we are the creators of safe spaces. We have the power to meet uncertainty with knowledge, research, and empathy. And more importantly, we have the power to spread it. Every professor at Rossier knew my name, where I was from, and they took an interest in my culture. And though all the events of 2020 and 2021 were unprecedented, the responses of our professors were anything but. In all of my classes, I was met with caring and understanding professors who took time out of their classes to ensure that we were getting along all right. And I am prepared to do the same. In our field, we can confront chaos with education. We can lead our communities in safe spaces and prepare all those we cross paths with to do the same. My experiences at Rossier are irreplaceable, and though the words are different, the values are the same. Rossier has prepared us to go out into the world and to be educators who tend to the needs of others and the world. Malama, who live righteously. Pono, who work together. Laulima, and who always live with love. Aloha.
Thank you so much for your words today, Jessica, and congratulations once again. On behalf of the faculty, your faculty chairs, Rossier's academic programs, would like to express their congratulations to our graduating students.
USC Rossier graduates,
On behalf of the faculty at the USC Rossier School of Education,
we want to congratulate you on reaching this important milestone.
fulfilling the academic requirements for your degree demanded great effort
dedication,
and discipline.
You have excelled. And more than that, you excelled to the end with many challenges facing you and all of us for these last few months of study.
Your professional journeys are each different.
some of you are just starting out.
Others are established professionals.
many left family and friends to study here in Los Angeles.
While others completed courses around the globe.
Despite your varied paths, today is about celebrating your new shared identity as members of the Trojan family,
Rossier alumni,
and proud graduates.
We hope that you enjoy this day with those who have encouraged you.
Rossier will always be with you as you move forward.
we believe in you.
Be adventurous,
Courageous.
Change the world.
And most importantly, fight on.
Fight on.
fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.
Fight on.
And now, please take a look at all the graduates we honor today, along with words of congratulations submitted by USC Rossier alumni, faculty, and staff.
Hello, graduates. I really wish you a wonderful celebration. You have earned it. And I just want to send you off with the Irish blessing. The author is unknown. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Congratulations and fight on.
A well-deserved congratulations to you, class of 2021. You possess the knowledge, skills, and passion to facilitate positive change in our field and to impact the lives of your students in great ways. I am proud of all you have accomplished, and I am excited for your futures. Fight on!
I would like to warmly and sincerely congratulate Cohort 8 for making it to the finish line. This is a group of students who faced tremendous change and uncertainty over the last year, and I want everyone to know how much I admire and respect them for the way that they persevered. You truly embody the spirit of what it means to be a Trojan, and on that note, congratulations and fight on.
Just want to say congratulations and welcome to the Trojan family, and fight on.
Congratulations to all the graduates celebrating commencement of 2021. Your tenacity is amazing, and your degree is one for the ages. So thank you for agreeing to study with us and trusting us. And as always, we wish you well, and go forth and do well. Alumni, fight on.
Congratulations, Trojans. It's been such a pleasure teaching you and learning from you. You've reached the end of this journey, and I can't wait to see what the future will bring. Congratulations again, and fight on.
Sending a heartfelt congratulations to the class of 2021 with a special shout out to our PhD graduates. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Trojans. So excited. Can't wait to see all that you accomplish in your careers and in your lives. Way to go.
Hello, class of 2021. I'm Dr. Rawada from the class of 2019. Congratulations on your well-deserved success and successfully completing this arduous, difficult, challenging doctoral program. I formally welcome you as doctors.
Fight on for all SC, our men fight on to victory. Our alma mater dear looks up to you. Fight on and win for all SC, fight on to victory, fight on. Congratulations, class of 2021, from a fellow Rossier graduate. Congratulations, you're about to open doors to the future. Great job.
Dearest graduates of the MAT TESOL program, it was such a pleasure working with you during your master's degree, and I have no shadow of a doubt that you will all do wonderful things in the future. Warmest congratulations, and please keep us posted.
Hello, graduates. On behalf of the Enrollment Management and Policy Master's Programs faculty, we see you, we know you, we love you. It's been a pleasure to serve you. Here's to the next generation of equity-minded leaders. Congratulations.
Rossier, class of 2021. My name is Dr. Chris Riddick, class of 2017. Wow, so many things that I could say, but honestly, I just want to say, even though I don't know any of you personally, I'm so proud of what you've been able to accomplish. We know this has been a unique time and you've been able to endure. And for that, you are well prepared to make all the change that I know you will make in the world. Congratulations and fight on.
All right, congratulations, class of 2021. I'm so excited you finally made it here. What a crazy year this has been. A special shout out to my MFTs. You're all going to do such amazing healing work in this world. Thank you. Congrats.
Hello, this is Professor Schmaltz, and I wanted to send a big congratulations to our graduates. You guys have handled the pandemic with both grace and advocacy. I can't wait to see what the future holds, and fight on.
On behalf of the USC Rossier School of Education, I want to thank our speakers today and all of you for attending our commencement celebration. It has been a unique year filled with complexity and challenges for our graduates and for those already working in the field of education. But hope is on the horizon. For our graduates, today will definitely mark a new beginning. It is now USC Rossier's honor to count you as part of our alumni community. To the class of 2021, congratulations and fight on.